All right, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I decided to get up a little earlier and hit the gym. Today's going to be a busy day. The house is still a mess. You guys probably know from the previous videos that we've moved house, we sold the other one, and we moved into this one, and this one is kind of requiring a lot of work. It's been 2 weeks now. We still don't have a kitchen. We don't have a laundry. We've got people coming in today to put in the kitchen and then tomorrow for the laundry. Um, but yeah, the shed is also very, very small. I'm about to demolish that in the next couple of days or sell it. We'll see how it goes if somebody picks up the shed. But I've ordered another shed. So yeah, it's kind of been really hard to kind of train. There's no space anywhere. It's a very big block, but there's just shit everywhere. So I didn't want to kind of, put my squat rack together and then have it in the way. And then what do you do with rain? Weights, the bar, whatever. I thought about buying a tarp, which I did, and I thought about covering it, and I just thought it was all too hard. So I joined a I joined a gym for the first time in 5 years. That was an experience itself. Yeah, I looked at a couple. They're very expensive. I remember back in the day, 5 years ago, I used to pay $11 a week. The best I could get now is 18.90. Yeah, almost $19 a week to use a gym, which is commercial crap, man. There's like 2 squat racks, 1 dedicated deadlift platform. Pretty shit, man. Like if I was starting a gym, I would definitely have minimum 5 squat racks. But then again, my gym probably wouldn't be all that successful. The majority of people are interested in, you know, machinery and all this other crap. No one really wants to do free weights. This gym does have a nice section of dumbbell rack and benches and whatever. But in terms of barbell stuff, very, very limited. The barbells I have is just shit, man. Like there's no grip. There's no knurling on those bars. It's just generic crap, But anyway, it's 5 in the morning now. I'm going to head to the gym now and put in a good workout before these tradies rock up and start demolishing the place up even more before they fix it up. But yeah, today's going to be the third gym session. Yeah, the first couple of sessions have been kind of weird. I'm not used to waiting for equipment, I'm not used to kind of just sitting there waiting for a squat rack. It's really weird. 90% of the people who go to the gym have no fucking idea what to do. That's the other thing that's kind of stuck out in my mind, is just people have no idea how to train. It's just phenomenal. I've seen 3 or 4 people squat, and they're all kind of like quarter squatting. Yeah, the deadlifts are, just everything's shocking. Everything's shocking. I think these people see people do these exercises and they're like, yeah, I'll give it a go. Like there's no official training or anything like that. It's really, really bad. But yeah, it's kind of been amusing, if not anything, to see these people train. But I've kind of forgotten how bad it is out there. Like I said, it's been 5 years since I've gone to a gym. I definitely miss my shed in the other house. There's nothing like having your own workout area and your own equipment, and everything is how you want it. No waiting on people. But yeah, anyway, it is what it is. I have to go and have to get a workout in. So I'm in the car right now. I'm gonna drive over there and hopefully I can record some footage of my training. But you never know. Like there's people everywhere, and you can't mount a camera in the middle of a walkway. And where I train, the corner of the gym where I train with the deadlift platform, it's very tight. So I'm going to see what I can do. Hopefully I can get some footage in and show you guys where I'm at. I am in a 85% block of my 1RM. So the weights are very heavy. The deadlift has been quite a problem in the last 2 sessions, because in the first session I forgot my straps. I didn't know where I put the straps in, which box when we moved. So I had no straps. I was using alternative grip on the bar, and after like one set my grip was fried, and so then my back started rounding and trying to fight the bar up, and so I had a mighty lower back pump after that workout, and I'm still kind of recovering from that. It's interesting how when your grip starts to fail, you start falling apart everywhere. So yeah, my grip started failing and my back started rounding and I was getting out of positions. The bar was kind of on my fingertips, and it's really interesting how important the grip is with training. But yeah, so deadlift has been kind of the biggest struggle. I'm doing 30 kilos on the pull-ups. That's kind of been alright. And I've also introduced squatting in the first session of this 85% block. I've kind of taken it easy. I'm doing, instead of 85% on my 1 rep max, I'm doing 70%, just because I haven't done squatting in such a long time. I decided to kind of start with front squats, but I think today I'm going to try and do some back squatting. I'm going to try and test 70% of my 1RM. I'm going to take for as many reps I can. I'm interested to see what I get. I've been trying to work on my mobility, my hips, my hip openers. So when I get to the gym, I'll do that for a little bit and then warm up, do some deadlifting, do some pull-ups, do some squats, and then finish up with some bench press. But yeah, let's get it. Let's drive over there and see if there's anybody in the gym and see if I can get a deadlift platform. Let's go. Hey, what's up, guys? I figured out I was gonna do a quick voiceover over the training session, just to give you some ideas into my mindset and what I'm thinking about during each portion of the session. And in this video, you're gonna see essentially the full workout. I don't think I've shown a full workout so far in all my videos. I think it's important to kind of show sort of how I go about training. When I give you kind of highlights, you just kind of see the main lifts and that's it. For those of you that are interested in the structure of the workout, how I warm up and things like that, you'll get to see it in this video, I guess. It's going to be a long one, but sit tight and hopefully you learn something, hopefully you get motivated, hopefully you get something out of it. As you can see here, I've gone into the gym, found my deadlift platform, and I've started warming up. So the strange thing about this gym is that they've got not enough 20 kilo plates. Almost all the plates are 25 kilos. So it kind of just slightly screws up what I'm used to. So 1 plate on each side is 70 kilos, 2 plates on each side is 120 kilos. So it's bigger jumps, but nevertheless you can still make it work. So what I try to do is warm up, 1 plate, 2 plate, and then I try to go, like a 10 either side, and then 3 plates and whatever. With this weight, the jumps are higher, quicker rather. But yeah, here I am with 120 kilos, just working. And that's the other thing with warm-up sets. You don't want to exhaust yourself. So I could do 15, 20 reps with this, but the point is you want to save yourself for the working sets. Now the working sets are the sets that your program calls for, and where you're going to get the bulk of your stimulus from. So the lead up to that weight, you want to make sure you warm up, but you don't exhaust yourself. So you want to stay away from the burn, exhaustion, and all that sort of stuff. So what I tend to do is singles, doubles, triples. As I get closer to the working weight, I do singles. So it's a bit of an art, trying to work out how much of a jump you make leading up to the working sets. But over time you kind of work it out, and that's it. Especially when you're peaking and when you're trying to go for the maximum weight, you don't want to be, say, lifting 80 kilos and then 90 kilos and then you're hoping to lift 100 for your max. It's just too close together. Kind of space it out a little bit, I guess, is what I would recommend. But yeah, so the deadlift I always go first. Deadlift is always my first exercise. It's my favorite exercise. It's by far the most bang for your buck, as I've said in the past. It takes a lot out of you. So a lot of people put the deadlift on the back end of their workout because they figure if they do it first, then they're just completely wrong all the other exercises thereafter because they're so exhausted, it's so CNS draining, it's so just debilitating if you do the deadlift first and you smash yourself. My theory is that that's good. I want the workout to be as difficult as possible, and especially in my case, I actually value the deadlift the most out of all the exercises. So it's my favorite. I have a lot of respect for the deadlift. I appreciate that it's the most dangerous exercise, in my opinion, because you can load the most amount of weight on the bar, and you got to check your ego as well. Like you could lift poorly and add maybe another 5-10% to your weight if you just round the hell out of your back and just go all out. So because of those reasons, I want to be the freshest I can be for the deadlift, and then all the other exercises kind of fit into whatever. Of course, I can not do the same amount of weight for the other exercises when I do the deadlift first, but that's fine. Like that's cool. Like I'm here to train. I'm not here to showboat my numbers. The other thing with the deadlift, as I'm doing 150 kilos here, no, 170. What is that? 170 kilos for a single day. Maybe that'll be my last one upset. Now you'll see later on, I make a mistake in loading the bar. I actually do another set of 190 kilos, which is a complete screw up because I was supposed to do 185 for 1 or 2 sets of 5 reps. I completely got my math wrong, and that's what I was talking about before. Like I'm used to 20 kilo plates, not 25 kilo plates. I screwed up here. I did a single, and I thought it felt very, very heavy for what I thought it was. But anyway, so yeah, with the deadlift, I touched on it a bit earlier. Is that it's such a major movement that it drains you really, really quickly. And so for somebody like me that trains the deadlift 3 times a week, I do 3 sessions per week where I hit the whole body, full body workouts. I don't do the bro splits or break up my body into compartments. I like to do the whole body in one session, do it 3 times a week. The thing, especially for me, is that recovery becomes very, very tricky. So I think it's important to point out that the goal of each training session is not to completely annihilate yourself. Training is merely a application of a stimulus, and then the recovery is when you grow and get stronger. For me, it's been the case for a number of years where I love training so much that I just wanted to kill it every time, and I just leave nothing in the tank after every session. But that's the wrong way to go about it, because the more you smash yourself in the gym, the more time you're gonna be required to recover. And in this instance, I'm training with this residual back fatigue, lower back fatigue from the first training session that I had in this particular gym. I basically, I mentioned before, but I rocked up with no straps, and when you don't have straps, everything becomes much more difficult. And so I really was stubborn that day, and I really tried to persist, and absolutely killed myself. I think I did 3 sets of 5, and I still feel fatigue in the lower back. So in this session, this is the first set of 5, which felt pretty good, but towards the last few reps, as you can see here, I really started feeling fatigue in my back. So I kind of I thought about it, and I made a decision to give it another crack at a set of 5. But really I should have called it there, and I should have just said, look, I need to kind of think about the recovery here. So moving forward from this session, I will be doing 1 set of 5 for the next week or 2, just to let my back catch up and recover. There's no point spinning your tires in the mud. So here I go for 5, and after the 3rd rep, I was just like, man, this is not feeling right. Like I feel extremely fatigued. I'm not going for a max here. I shouldn't be feeling this. There should be just like another training session in a week and nothing major. But I was feeling like I was going balls to the wall here, and so I called it quits at 3, as you'll see here. I mean, I could have grinded out another 2 reps, but that's not the point. Like I'm saying here, like the point is not to completely annihilate yourself. The point is to get enough stimulus into your system to elicit a response from the physiology to get you stronger. But the point is not to overreach. Overreach is a term used in the industry to describe essentially going beyond what your body is capable of. And so overreaching is good because you're kind of you're forcing your body to catch up and get stronger. However, if you overreach too often, then you plateau and then potentially regress. Just keep that in mind. Recovery is the key. Recovery. When you go to the gym and you smash yourself, you're not growing in that moment. You're actually going to grow after the fact. So you don't want to be working too hard and not having enough recovery, because then you just basically waste your time. Absolutely wasting. I might as well be on the couch and not doing anything. At least that way you're not going to get injured. So train smart and allow your body to recover. There was a very, very famous powerlifter that I heard say this. It's actually quite funny. Konstantinos, or something like that. He's actually passed away last year, I think it was. He's a Russian powerlifter that I think he was a bodyguard and he died on Djuric or something like that. I can't remember exactly how he passed away, but he had a famous saying, very revered in the powerlifting world. But he said that training should be like sex without intercourse. It's funny, but it paints you the right picture, right? You want to be training like you're having sex all the time without penetration. So you want to be having some sort of stimulus, but you don't want to be going all the way and just killing yourself. So that's how he basically points to the whole idea that I mentioned in previous videos about practicing. So your training sessions should be practice sessions. You should look at it more that way rather than completely working yourself out. Because working yourself out implies that you're going to have a massive recovery window, and as we know, frequency is very, very important in training. And if you kill yourself and you don't train for another week because you're so dead, science has proven that for somebody that trains a bit less hard and comes back for another session during the week will actually have better outcomes in the future. So don't be a numbskull, and just train smart. And that's where science comes in here. Like, it's not just about killing yourself. Now, if you're doing drugs, if you're on steroids and anabolics, whatever sort, different rules apply, right? You can completely go bonkers and kill yourself. But that's not what I'm doing here, and that's not my experience. I have no experience with this sort of stuff. So I think a large part of my growing up was the whole bro split and just doing 50 million sets for each body part. And I didn't know better, right? Everyone around me was doing the same thing, and we're all misled by the magazines, the bodybuilders, who were very much enhanced. And so here I was, a natural lifter, trying to, follow somebody that's, enhanced. So it makes no sense. Train smart. If you're natural, you have to train smart and leave something in the tank after every session. So here I am doing some pull-ups, 30 kilos hanging off the belt. I'm doing 4 here, 5 sets of 4. The reason why it's so specific is because when I did the test last week, I got 6 reps, and so I just worked off 70% of that. Works out to be 4, whatever, 4 something, but you round it off. So I'm doing 4 here. So the total amount of work is 20 repetitions, and I'll be looking at hopefully testing in a couple of weeks again and seeing if I've improved with that much volume. And then basically you test every 4 to 6 weeks, and you kind of rejig your numbers. So if in 4 weeks time you come back and crank out 10, then it's no longer useful for me to be doing 4 reps, 5 sets. Then I kind of have to get in that 70% window, and then I just kind of reapply my numbers and maybe do 7 per set. Depends on what I get. If it's 10 in the test I get, then it's 7, simple math. But here I am just cranking it out, and I try and emphasize completely stretching at the bottom, completely dead hang. I don't want to be doing partials. I don't advocate for you to do partials. I think if you can't do a proper rep, then don't worry about it. Just drop the weight and get the full range of motion. Range of motion is a big thing, because you want to be strong in every range of that motion. That's always been our philosophy. I don't like when guys are doing these partial pull-ups where they get to halfway and then go back up, kind of thing. That's not my thing. But yeah, I always bring my belt along. I think the gym has a belt themselves, but I like my belt a lot better. But yeah, the later sets get really, really tough. Now, the reason why I emphasize pull-ups so much is because I feel like they are one of the best, along with rows, the best exercises for the lats, for the back. Now, I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not trying to enhance the lats just because of aesthetic reasons. The reason why I'm doing it is purely to assist my deadlift. In the deadlift, you require your lats to pinch down and pull the bar towards you as it's trying to get away from you. So it's purely an accessory exercise for me for the deadlift. I don't do it to get massive lats. I do it because I want to get strong within the lats so I can be better at deadlifts. Now, so this is the first squatting, back squatting I've probably done in a year. Proper squatting. So here I'm doing a back squat. I think that's 90 kilos on the bar there. Yeah, I'm just feeling it out. As you can see when I go down, like my mobility is okay, but I'd like to be more stable on my feet, and that's purely because of hip mobility. So one of the best stretches to do for that is just hip openers, stretching the adductors, stretching the hamstrings, the upper hamstrings, the hip flexors. It really, really works well for the squat. Everyone thinks it's in the ankles. You got tight ankles. It's not. Trust me, I've been there. I've exercised, I've stretched, I've rolled, I've voodoo banded, I've done all this sort of stuff. Nothing really helped me as much as hip mobility. Static stretching is fine. Static stretching gets a bad rap, but it's helped me a lot. It's got me out of my little hip issue that I've had for the last half year, and I wasn't stretching for half year. It was at the end of that half year that I kind of really realized what I was doing. I initially started doing this, that, the other, rolling, massaging, strengthening specific muscle groups of the hip, isolating. Nothing worked as normal static stretching worked. So here I'm loading 120 kilos on the bar. Now my 180 kilo is my max for the squat, and so I've gone, okay, let's take 70% of that, roughly. It's 125, 70%, but I decided to go 120 kilos and see what I've got for reps. And off that number, like for all the other stuff, off that number I'm gonna take 70%, and I'll be working with that range for the following training sessions. So this is kind of like a feel out session, and I'm back in my mind right there. I remember I was thinking, don't completely kill yourself again. Leave something in the tank because of the deadlift and how I'm under recovering at the moment. So I took each rep slowly, and I just felt how I was going through the motions. The first rep was pretty good. I felt pretty solid with that. Sort of all of these. I think that later, I think I got 8 here. Yeah, I think I got 8. I started getting a bit more fatigued and slowing down in the upward motion. But yeah, so once again, squats are very, very good, especially if you're doing a high bar. Now, high bar means when the bar is resting on the shoulder shelf. And there's another variant called the low bar, where you put the bar much lower down your back and it's kind of resting on your on the bulk of that rear deltoid area, which kind of makes you lean over a bit more and use your posterior chain more. You can lift more weight with low bar, but my position has always been that why do low bar when you're already deadlifting and you're taxing your posterior chain? So I use the squat to hit more of my quads, interior chain, and it just kind of complements each other. Deadlift does posterior, quads do still posterior, but a bit more with the high bar of the quad stimulation. So that's my 2 cents, and it helps you develop stronger quads, which then in turn help you with the bottom portion of the deadlift, where you have to kind of push off the ground. And that's my weak point, getting off the floor. I've got a big old booty, and I can basically walk anything out that crosses my knee. But getting off the floor is my weakness. So I really have to emphasize more squatting, and I don't like the fact that I haven't squatted for so long. But I had this injury and didn't want to, do some serious damage. So I took some time off and worked it out with stretching. But yeah, so the squats are very good, especially in high bar and front squats. Very good exercise for the quads, which then in turn help you with the deadlifts. Now I'm doing bench press. This is the last exercise for my training session. What I'm doing here is going up to 120 kilos. 110 kilos, and I'm just doing 5 sets of doubles, 5 sets of 2 reps. Now, it's too low of reps for my liking, but my test day was absolutely shocking. I only got 3 when I was testing, and so I have to go by those numbers, right? 70% of 3, whatever, 2 will do. But I'll get stronger. It's supposed to be 85% weight, and I should be doing this for 5, 6, 7, 8 reps, but I'm doing it for 2 reps. So basically, what it's saying to me is I haven't really improved my bench press in this last training cycle, which sucks. But hopefully, I can redeem myself in this block, and maybe I can do something with it. But in the previous block, I was working with 80% of my max reps. And what I found was that my bench didn't respond, so I've kind of taken it down to 70% for this block to see whether that's going to help me more. And Pavel Tsatsouline has said this in the past, that you have to train your upper body with a lower intensity compared to your lower body. So upper body, lower intensity, lower body, higher intensity, and you can generally hit your upper body for more volume, which is interesting. So Pavel says that if you want a strong press, bench press or overhead press, you have to press a lot, meaning you need to do it a lot, many times. So anyway, the shittest lift of all my lifts is the bench press, and I don't really prioritize it, to be honest. It's always in the last portion of my training session. But hopefully I can change moving forward. But yeah, so hopefully this kind of helps you out. It's a full training session. It's a long video. Instead of being a dull video, me just moving weight, I thought it would be a pretty cool idea if I just do this voiceover. I might even plug myself into a corner here so you can actually see me while I talk to you. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else for me to say other than I have to get better with my bench press. Here I am. I think this is the last set. See, even that, it's not moving all that quickly. You can see that my max is not far away. My max is probably 125, if that, 120. Although I'm in a fatigue state here, I really have to kind of really take a deload, but I hate taking deloads. A deload is basically where you have a period of time, usually a week, where you decrease the amount of work you do, and that's called a deload. And during that week, you basically recover. You let your body recover. I'm not a fond of deloads. I love training so much, and if I don't go to the gym and go through the same motions, I just feel shit, man. Like I hate taking time off the gym. But the alternative to that is you kind of have to, not deload, but you kind of have to ramp down some of the volume on some of the bigger lifts, like the deadlifts. So I'm going to try and sneakily deload while not deloading by decreasing some of the volume on the bench, on the deadlift. But yeah, I mean, this is for 2 reps, it should be much quicker. But anyway. Alright, that's me from the gym. Just come back home. All in all, it went pretty well. The only thing I'm going to take away from it is that I think I'm doing too much volume on the deadlift. I only did 1 set of 5, and then I tried another set of 5, but I only managed 3. I could have pushed, but I felt kind of my lower back play too much with it. I felt to kind of get a pump. I felt a stretch. So there's no pain, nothing like that. I just feel like I need to kind of ease into this 85% max block with the deadlifts. I think there's heaps of residual fatigue as well. I'm not recovering between sessions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the volume on the deadlift. So I'll do 1 set of 5 for the next couple of weeks and see if I can catch up on the fatigue. and I'll keep pushing with the other lifts. Now I think the squats are playing a part in that fatigue of the lower back. I've introduced squats this block, and I think they're taking a bite out of the recovery of the deadlift. So I have to be careful now that I'm deadlifting and squatting at the same time. So it's going to be a juggling act. In terms of the pull-ups feel good. I feel strong. I'll continue doing that for the next couple of weeks. The bench press kind of feels, it's always feeling shitty. But yeah, I think the doubles that I did today, five doubles, feeling stronger than they were 3 sessions ago when I first started this block. So it's getting there. I also think, because I always kind of leave bench pressing to the last exercise of the session, I think that's also that could explain why I struggle with the bench press so much, because it's always on the back burner. I always have the least amount of energy left for it. And generally what you should do is for the body parts or for the movements that you're struggling with, you should put them in the front of your, or at the start of your training session. But for me, deadlifts is number one. I'm never going to dethrone the deadlift. And I generally like to do a pulling, upper body pulling exercise before I do a pushing exercise, just purely on the being cautious with the shoulder. If you do a pushing exercise before you do a pulling exercise, I feel like I always get I don't know, just uncomfortable in the shoulder. Whereas if I do a pulling exercise first, I feel like everything's warmed up, all the back muscles, upper back muscles are tight. I can just bench press with good explosiveness and strength and stability. But all in all, really good. I'm still kind of getting used to the whole gym scene. It's been a while for me. But yeah, it wasn't too bad today. 5 o'clock start this morning, or 5:15. I think I rocked up to the gym. So I think I should be doing this going forward, because when you go to the gym later on, it's just so many people. You can't, you have to wait for the equipment, and it's just too big of a crowd. So yeah, good session today. Felt really good. And yeah, until next time, catch you guys later. See ya.